There's a ritual practiced by millions across Japan every single morning that researchers now believe may be one of the most powerful longevity tools ever measured. Yet fewer than 1 in 100 American seniors even know it exists. The exercise takes less than 4 minutes, requires no equipment, costs nothing, and in some observational studies has been associated with mortality reductions approaching 30% over 15-year periods. That's a bigger effect size than many medications we prescribe every day. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary. The movement isn't about strength or flexibility in the way we typically think about exercise. It's about something deeper, something that declines silently after 60 and predicts nearly every cause of death we fear most. Falls, fractures, cognitive decline, even cardiovascular events. And the science behind why this particular practice works is only now being fully understood by Western researchers who spent decades dismissing it as too simple to matter. What you're about to discover will challenge almost everything you've been told about staying active after 60. Because while American seniors are being pushed toward gym memberships and complicated workout routines, the Japanese have quietly perfected something far more elegant. A single movement pattern that rewires the connection between your brain and body in ways that compound every single day. And the second thing on this list, the one almost nobody talks about, might actually be more important than the exercise itself. It's the timing, the exact window of the day when this practice delivers maximum benefit. But first, we need to talk about the most shocking part. The real reason 99% of us ignore this isn't lack of information. It's because the exercise looks so absurdly simple that our Western minds reject it as insufficient. We've been conditioned to believe that if something doesn't make us sweat or leave us sore, it can't possibly work. So, let me ask you this. Drop your age in the comments right now and tell me honestly, when was the last time you practiced standing on one leg for more than 10 seconds? Because that simple test is about to reveal something critical about where you are on the longevity spectrum. Here's what we're dealing with. After age 60, the average American loses approximately 1 to 2% of their muscle mass every single year. That's the statistic everyone quotes, but what they don't tell you is that we lose balance capability at nearly triple that rate. By age 70, balance function has typically declined by 30 to 40% compared to middle age. And balance isn't just about not falling. It's a real-time measure of how well your brain, inner ear, vision, and muscular system communicate. When that communication network degrades, everything else follows. Your confidence drops. You move less. You avoid stairs. You hold railings. Your world slowly shrinks because your nervous system is no longer sure where your body is in space. The Japanese identified this decades ago. They understood something profound that Western medicine is only now catching up to. The body doesn't fail all at once. It fails in a specific sequence. And balance is the early warning system. It's the canary in the coal mine. When balance starts to go, you're looking at a cascade of decline that accelerates with frightening speed. Hip fractures, loss of independence, nursing home admission, mortality within a year. The statistics are brutal. But here's the beautiful part. Balance is also trainable. More trainable than strength. More trainable than endurance. And it responds faster to intervention than almost any other physical quality. You can measure improvement in days, not months. The exercise I'm about to show you is called Tanren in Japanese. Roughly translated, it means forging or tempering, like steel. But the specific variation practiced for longevity is a one-legged standing hold with a twist. Not a physical twist, a mental one. And that's the key. This isn't a balance challenge performed mindlessly while you brush your teeth. It's a focused neurological drill that forces your brain to build new maps of your body in space. Let me break down exactly what's happening inside your nervous system when you do this correctly. Because understanding the mechanism is what makes people actually stick with it. When you stand on one leg, you immediately destabilize your base of support. Your body goes into a state of controlled crisis. Your brain has to rapidly integrate information from 3 sources. Your vestibular system in your inner ear, which senses head position and movement. your visual system, which provides spatial reference points, and your proprioceptive system, the sensors in your muscles and joints that tell you where your limbs are without looking. In younger people, this integration happens automatically and instantly. But after 60, there's lag. There's noise in the signal. The systems don't talk to each other as cleanly. And that's what causes the wobble. That's what makes you reach for the counter. Now here's where the Japanese approach diverges from Western physical therapy. Instead of just holding the position and fighting to stay still, Tanren emphasizes breath synchronization and gaze control. You stand on one leg, yes, but you also fix your gaze on a single point at eye level about 6 feet away. You don't let your eyes wander. And you breathe in a 4-count rhythm. 4 seconds in through the nose, 4 seconds out through the mouth. This does something remarkable. It shifts you out of panic mode and into a learning state. Your nervous system stops fighting the wobble and starts adapting to it. You're building new neural pathways in real time. Research from institutions. Studying Japanese centenarians has found that individuals who maintain daily balance practices into their 80s and 90s show brain connectivity patterns more similar to people 20 years younger. The cerebellum, the part of your brain responsible for coordination and balance, actually maintains more gray matter volume. And this isn't genetic. It's practiced. It's earned. The brain responds to demand, and when you challenge your balance every single day, you're telling your brain that this system is still mission critical. Don't let it atrophy. Let me tell you about Margaret. 72, former elementary school teacher from Oregon, loved hiking but had given it up after a close call on a trail 2 years earlier. She'd stepped on loose gravel, felt her ankle roll, and caught herself on a tree branch. Nothing broke, but the fear stuck. She stopped going out, started declining invitations. When she came to one of our workshops, she couldn't stand on her right leg for more than 3 seconds without grabbing something. Her left leg was better, maybe 6 seconds, but with significant wobble. I taught her the Tanren Protocol. 1 minute per leg, twice a day, every single day. No exceptions. Morning and evening. Fixed gaze, controlled breath, focused mind. 2 weeks later, she emailed me. She was up to 20 seconds per side without support. But more importantly, she wrote, she felt different, more solid, like her body was listening to her again. After 6 weeks, she tried the trail again with a friend. Made it to the top without a single moment of panic. And here's what she said that I'll never forget. She told me the exercise gave her back more than balance. It gave her back trust in her own body. And that psychological shift is worth more than any medication I could prescribe. So here's the protocol. Every single morning, right after you wake up but before you've had coffee or gotten distracted by your phone, you're going to practice Tanren for 4 minutes total. Find a clear space near a wall or counter that you can touch if needed, but don't hold on unless you absolutely must. Stand barefoot or in thin socks so you can feel the ground. Start with your right leg. Lift your left foot about 6 inches off the floor. Knee bent, foot relaxed. Don't lean to one side. Keep your hips level. Find a spot on the wall at eye level and lock your gaze there. Begin the 4-count breath. In through your nose for 4. Out through your mouth for 4. Hold the position for 1 minute. If you wobble, that's fine. If you have to touch the wall, touch it and keep going. The goal isn't perfection. It's practice. After 1 minute, switch legs. Left leg standing, right foot lifted. Same gaze, same breath, same focus. Another minute. Then repeat the entire sequence 1 more time. Right leg, left leg. 4 minutes total. That's it. That's the whole practice. No weights, no apps, no special equipment. Just you and gravity and your nervous system learning to communicate better. Now here's the critical part that most people miss. The timing matters. You do this in the morning because your nervous system is most plastic, most adaptable, right after sleep. Your cortisol is naturally elevated, which enhances learning. Your brain is primed to encode new patterns. If you wait until evening, you'll still get balance benefits, but you miss the neurological window when the practice has maximum impact. The Japanese have known this for generations. They call it the golden hour, though it's really the golden first 30 minutes after waking. Everything you practice during that window gets encoded more deeply. And here's the second element that 99% of American seniors ignore. The practice must be daily, not 3 times a week. Not when you remember, every single day. Because balance is a skill that decays rapidly. If you skip 3 days, you've lost a week of progress. Your nervous system prioritizes what you use. If you don't demand balance every day, your brain decides it's not important and reallocates those neural resources elsewhere. This is why people decline so fast after a fall. They become afraid, they stop challenging their balance, and the system degrades in a vicious cycle. But when you practice daily, even for just 4 minutes, you create the opposite cycle, a virtuous loop. Your balance improves, you feel more confident, you move more freely, you challenge yourself further, your balance improves even more. And the benefits extend far beyond not falling. Better balance means better posture. Better posture means better breathing. Better breathing means better oxygenation. Better oxygenation means sharper cognition. It's all connected. One more thing about the protocol. As you improve, and you will improve faster than you expect, you can progress the exercise in 3 ways. First, increase the hold time. Work up to 90 seconds per leg. Second, close your eyes for brief intervals. 5 seconds, then 10, then 15. This removes your visual input and forces your vestibular and proprioceptive systems to work harder. And third, add small head movements. Slow turns to the left and right while maintaining the stance. This challenges your vestibular system even more and builds resilience against the kind of sudden movements that cause real-world falls. But start simple. Master the basic 4-minute protocol first. Most people need 4 to 6 weeks before they're ready to progress. And honestly, even the basic version maintained for life is enough to keep you in the top percentile of balance function for your age. The Japanese seniors who practice this into their 90s aren't doing advanced variations. They're doing the same simple drill they learned decades ago, every single morning, without fail. That consistency is the secret. Now let's talk about why this works better than the balance exercises you might have tried before. Physical therapists in the United States often prescribe standing balance drills, yes, but they're usually framed as rehabilitation, something you do after you've already declined or fallen. The Japanese approach is different. It's preventive. It's a daily non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth. You don't wait until you have cavities to brush. You don't wait until you fall to train balance. And the psychological framing matters enormously. When balance practice is positioned as therapy, it feels like an admission of weakness. When it's positioned as a discipline, like meditation or a morning ritual, it becomes a source of pride. There's also the social element. In Japan, morning balance practice is often done in community, parks full of seniors doing Tanren together. There's accountability, there's encouragement, there's collective energy. In the United States, we tend to exercise alone or in gyms where everyone's younger and stronger, which can be intimidating. So here's my suggestion. If you're married or have a partner or a friend nearby, recruit them. Make it a shared ritual. 4 minutes every morning, side by side. You'll both be more consistent, and you can gently compete. Who can hold longer? Who improves faster? Turn it into a game instead of a chore. And if you're alone, use the comment section of this video as your community. Tell us where you are in your practice. Share your progress. Ask questions. There are thousands of people watching this who are on the same journey. You're not isolated. You're part of a movement, literally and figuratively. Here's the kicker. The reason this exercise is so powerful isn't just the physical balance improvements. It's the confidence feedback loop. Most seniors are more capable than they believe, but they've stopped testing themselves. They've internalized the cultural narrative that after 70 you're supposed to slow down, take it easy, avoid risks. And that narrative becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your body adapts to the demands you place on it. If you demand nothing, it gives you nothing. But when you prove to yourself every single morning that you can stand on one leg for a minute, for 90 seconds, eventually for 2 minutes, you're rewriting that narrative. You're sending a signal to your entire system that you're still strong, still capable, still in control, and that signal radiates outward into everything else you do. You take the stairs instead of the elevator. You walk further. You travel more confidently. You say yes to activities you would have declined before. The balance practice becomes a keystone habit that unlocks a dozen other positive behaviors. This is why the mortality statistics are so dramatic. It's not just that better balance prevents falls. It's that better balance keeps you engaged with life. And engagement is the ultimate longevity drug. Let me tell you about Robert. 68, retired firefighter from Texas, had knee surgery 3 years ago and never quite got back to full function. He'd developed a limp, started using a cane for longer walks, and his world had contracted considerably. He was frustrated, angry even, because he'd been active his whole life and suddenly felt old. His daughter sent him a video about Tanren and he dismissed it at first. Thought it looked too easy, too simple, but she kept pushing, and finally he tried it just to prove her wrong. First morning, he fell over twice. Couldn't even make it to 30 seconds on either leg without grabbing the counter. But something in him, that old firefighter discipline, kicked in. He committed to the 4 minutes every morning for a month. Just a month, he told himself. After 2 weeks, he was up to 45 seconds per side. After 3 weeks, 60 seconds. By week 4, he could do the full minute with his eyes closed for intervals. And something else happened. His knee pain decreased. Not because the balance drill fixed his knee, but because his gait pattern improved. He was distributing weight more evenly, engaging stabilizer muscles he'd been unconsciously avoiding. His physical therapist noticed the change before he did. 3 months in, Robert put the cane away. 6 months in, he was hiking again. Not long treks, but enough. And he told me the balance practice gave him something he hadn't even realized he'd lost. A sense of mastery, of still being able to improve, of not being finished. He's 70 now, still doing Tanren every morning, and he's recruited 4 guys from his old firehouse to join him. They have a group chat where they post their times and trash talk each other. It's beautiful. So here's what you're going to do today. Right after you finish watching this, you're going to try the basic protocol. Just once, 4 minutes. 1 minute per leg, twice through. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't tell yourself you'll start on Monday. Do it now, while the information is fresh and your motivation is high. And pay attention to how it feels. Not just physically, but mentally. Notice the focus it requires. Notice the small adjustments your body makes. Notice the wobble and the stabilization. That's your nervous system learning in real time. And then tomorrow morning, you do it again. And the morning after that. And the morning after that. For 30 days straight, no exceptions. If you travel, you do it in the hotel room. If you're visiting family, you do it before anyone else wakes up. If you're sick, you do a modified version holding on to something but still practicing the breath and gaze control. 30 days of non-negotiable practice. That's the commitment. Why 30 days? Because that's the minimum time it takes for a new behavior to start feeling automatic. The first week will require willpower. The second week will feel easier but still deliberate. By week 3, your body will start expecting it. By week 4, skipping it will feel strange. And by the time you hit 30 days, you'll have measurable improvements that will motivate you to keep going indefinitely. One more story, then I'll give you the final piece. Linda, 74, had been a dancer in her younger years. Ballet, moderne, jazz. But decades of desk work and 2 kids and life had pulled her away from movement. She'd always meant to get back into some kind of practice, but never found the time or the right class. She heard about Tanren from a friend and was intrigued because it reminded her of the balance drills she used to do at the bar. She started the 4-minute protocol and within days felt something unlock. Not just balance, but a reconnection to her body that she'd been missing for 30 years. She progressed quickly because she had that old dance foundation, and within 3 months she'd joined a local Tai Chi class. Within 6 months, she was taking adult ballet again. She wrote me an email that said, and I'm paraphrasing, that the 4 minutes of Tanren every morning gave her permission to think of herself as a moving person again. Not a former dancer, a current mover. And that identity shift changed everything. She's now 77 and teaching balance workshops at her senior center. Full circle. Here's the final piece. The one thing that will determine whether you actually do this or whether this becomes another thing you learned about and forgot. You need to attach the practice to an existing habit. This is called habit stacking, and it's the most reliable way to build new behaviors. You already have a morning routine. Maybe you wake up, use the bathroom, start the coffee, check your phone. Pick one of those existing habits and attach Tanren immediately after it. For most people, the best anchor is right after you use the bathroom in the morning. You're already standing, you're already awake, you haven't gotten distracted yet. So the sequence becomes wake up, bathroom, Tanren, then continue with your day. Write that sequence down. Put a note on your bathroom mirror if you need to. Set a reminder on your phone for the first week. Do whatever it takes to make the behavior automatic. Because the exercise itself is simple. The hard part is remembering to do it every day until it becomes part of who you are. And here's something that might surprise you. This practice doesn't just improve balance. It improves decision-making. There's emerging research showing that physical balance and cognitive balance are linked. When you train your body to stay stable under challenge, your brain gets better at staying stable under stress. Better emotional regulation, better impulse control, better clarity. The Japanese have a saying, a stable body, a stable mind. And the science is starting to back that up. So when you practice Tanren every morning, you're not just preventing falls. You're building resilience at every level. Physical, neurological, psychological. You're investing 4 minutes in a practice that pays dividends all day long. And over months and years, those dividends compound into something extraordinary. A version of aging that looks completely different from the cultural default. Not because you got lucky with genetics. Not because you spent a fortune on interventions. But because you did something simple and unglamorous every single day. That's the real secret the Japanese have understood for generations. Longevity isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in 4-minute increments. In daily practices that seem too small to matter but accumulate into transformational change. The exercise looks simple because it is simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. And simple definitely doesn't mean ineffective. The most powerful things in life are often the simplest. We just have to be willing to do them consistently enough to see the results. So, here's my final question for you. 30 days from now, what will be different? Will you still be wobbling after 3 seconds, or will you be rock solid at 90 seconds? Will you still be avoiding activities because you're afraid? Or will you be saying yes because you trust yourself again? The choice is entirely yours. The information is here. The protocol is clear. The only variable is whether you'll actually do it. Drop a comment below and tell me this. What's one thing you've stopped doing because you were afraid of falling or losing your balance? And what would getting that balance back mean for your life? I want to hear your stories. I want to know what you're working toward. Because that's what makes this real. That's what turns information into transformation.